So, allow me to introduce myself. I am Detective Bill O'Materials, world-renowned investigator of system sabotage, product data deception, and life cycle larceny. Where there's fit, form, or functional foul play, I'm the one they call. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, and that's you, thank you for assembling. We are not here to discuss a failed system implementation, which I anyway hear is very rare. We are here to investigate a crime. A product, once full of promise, lies dead before it ever saw the light of day. Not by chance, not by misfortune, but by product life cycle murder. You may have seen cases like this before, and you may think you know what happened, but I urge you, put your preconceptions to one side and listen very carefully. Examine all the evidence with fresh eyes, because at the end of this investigation, you will decide who killed this product. Suspects, you have all played a part in this most unfortunate affair. I have gathered you here not to speculate, but to reveal the truth. Each of you has secrets, some more than others, but the data does not lie. The process left a trail. The facts will be laid bare, and after the jury has decided your fate, I will reveal the killer. Let us begin. I will start by presenting the official autopsy report, which I hold here in my hand. A warning, it is not for the faint-hearted. The victim, a promising product of with potential for commercial and technical success. Time of death, unconfirmed, it was not a quick death. Cause of death, multiple contributing factors. The product had been drowned in changes, buried under bureaucracy, it was missing key parts, it has experienced shocking execution, communication was broken in several places, the supply chain was completely ripped apart, there was blunt force trauma consistent with sustained tool impact, there was evidence of organizational dislocation, the budget had completely bled out, and tests indicated traces of contaminated data sources. This was no accident, it was death by design. Now, with the extent of the damage laid bare, we turn to those closest to the victim. Each had a role to play, each had motive. Let us hear from them one by one. Engineering. You are responsible for design, engineering and release. I have witness statements claiming you released your designs 14 days late. Can you explain?
Yes, but the designs had to be perfect, and that takes time. Also, the product definition kept changing all the time. Every time we thought we were done, something new came in. The release process itself was a nightmare. Too complicated. That's down to IT. And the timing, completely unrealistic. Project management set deadlines we couldn't meet from the start. I gave all the information to purchasing. If they would have sent the purchase orders on time, we would have caught up. I was in contact with the suppliers directly. We had a plan. Everything was tracked in my offline spreadsheet, of course.
Allow me to present Exhibit A, your offline Excel bomb.
Okay, I sent regular updates by email. Not everything was in the BOM, but we can work around that, right? If manufacturing had questions, they shouldn't have raised them during design reviews, not on the shop. They should have raised them during the design reviews, not on the shop floor. They flagged issues we'd already addressed. They just weren't reading the latest drawings.
So, Angie, your story is one version of the truth. But it's not the single source of truth. Could it be the closest source of truth? Let's find out. Next suspect. Purchasing. Responsible for procurement and getting the right parts to the right place at the right time. And yet, parts were missing. Suppliers say you delayed the purchase orders. Some claim they didn't even get the right information at all. Oh, let the record reflect Exhibit B, an unanswered supplier email. Tell us in your own words what happened.
Well, listen, you know, this BOM kept changing all the time. And how can I manage the right purchase order? So, and also I need leverage, so I negotiated different changes. But this is the dollar business that we do. So, and the project management, they actually didn't care that information that came late. So I'm getting information late. What do you want we can do? And yeah, we optimize suppliers, but in the end we place orders that we gave us engineering. Those guys that just talked to that, they can figure out what they need. So how can I order what they need? So and at the end, I lost multiple tickets because this IT portal doesn't work. So what can I do? And then finally the manufacturing, you know, it's a total chaos. So suppliers sent them, and they said they didn't get it. So we're all supposed to be. So I think I'm not the one to blame. Like we did everything right, but all this chaos was impossible to manage.
So, quite frankly, that testimony raises more questions than answers. Let's continue. Thank you. Manufacturing. Responsible for building the product, turning designs into reality and keeping the line moving. And yet, it is said your team spent more time rejecting parts and raising issues than assembling. The system says you approved all changes. I submit Exhibit C, manufacturing change approval. Care to explain?
Now look, Bill. All the design approvals, the churn, the constant changes. I mean, in the end, we were just auto-approving modifications, so we were not the blocker. You know? And when it came time to build, I just followed the BOM. And if the BOM was wrong, that's not on us, you know? We're not to blame. And product data never ever flowed cleanly between the systems. But we still had the pressure to deliver, you know? It's not a pony hole right here, you know? And then purchasing, these guys, they don't do their job. We were missing parts on every build. So sometimes we had to use outdated specs or swap materials just to keep things moving. We have things to produce, you know? And then we get different design revisions in the stores, but half the labels had come off, and no one could tell what was what, you know? And then project management. Oh, come on. They changed the build schedule every day. I spent the first hour of my every morning just redoing the plan. It's ridiculous.
The picture remains incomplete. Time to question the next suspect. Gent Chartman. You are responsible for project management, the timeline, the coordination, the delivery. Several accusations have been made about your role in this affair. What do you have to say?
Screw those guys. We built the integrated timeline across all departments, and the milestones were agreed by everyone. If they couldn't deliver, that's on them. The 4 times a day status meetings and constant chasing were necessary. When it came to reporting, everyone moaned the system didn't reflect the reality, so they made their own reports.
I place before you Exhibit D, conflicting status reports.
That's not on me. Talk to IT. And we are not waterfall anymore, we're agile. If the plan changes every day, that's just how it works now. Yes, we had to protect the timing, but the real pressure, reporting, it had to stay green. No one wants to be the one showing red to the chiefs. So yes, we signed off on a few things that were close enough. We assumed the red flags would get sorted later. They always do, right?
Sounds well rehearsed to me. But clearly that's not the whole story. Our next witness has some explaining to do. Architect, responsible for the systems, the tools and the digital foundations this whole operation depends on. And yet, there are reports of poor user experience, system glitches and tools that didn't talk to each other. Can you explain what went wrong?
It's a process problem. It's not a system problem. Is it? The vendor did what the team asked for. The configuration management team were the one that the system having approvers in the change process. We did it. I'll admit the digital thread didn't work quite as well as it was demoed during the tool selection. Okay. But the individual systems were all operational, access were in place, or we uploaded all the user guides in SharePoint, we gave the team the tool they asked for. We just they didn't use them properly, they didn't read the manual.
Exhibit E, ladies and gentlemen, the tool landscape in question.
What did they expect? An iPhone app, user interface, and personal training for every user? Yes, sometimes those training integration broke during routine upgrades, but we always fix them eventually. Okay. In hindsight, we should have gone to the SharePLMSummit in Aras having this conversation.
Very, very interesting. You've now heard the testimony, you've seen the evidence. The question is no longer what happened, but who is responsible. Members of the jury, it's time to deliver your verdict. I will present each suspect once more. For each one I ask, is this the killer? You, the jury, will decide by declaring guilty or not guilty. Now, having seen some of the services and systems you've been selling, I can understand why guilty and not guilty might seem like a bit of a grey area, but do your best. So, engineering, if you could take a step forward, please. Did she design for disaster? Jury, I ask you now, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty!
Thank you. Purchasing. Did he seal the deal and the product's fate? Jury, I ask you now, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty!
That might just be the actor. Manufacturing. Did he assemble the final nail in the coffin? Jury, I ask you now, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty!
So next, Gantt Chapman, was the product's demise carefully planned? Jury, I ask you now, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty!
Resounding. Finally, Architect. Did he pull the plug on the product? Jury, I ask you now, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
I thought there'd be a lot more not guilty. So the verdicts are in, but do they align with the truth? I can now reveal that although each of our suspects played a role in the tragedy, none of them delivered the fatal blow. Their testimony and a careful review of the facts has uncovered something much deeper. Before I name the true culprit, let's give a well-earned round of applause to our released suspects, cleared of all charges and free to go. Thank you. So, this was not a murder committed by action, but by absence. A missing capability within the product data ecosystem. The killer was a team that never existed. Let me explain. So, for years the PLM focus has been on technology, and sometimes users receive consideration in the form of training, as if that were enough, but it's clearly not. What we need is a shift away from systems and users to systems, users, and dedicated product data management professionals. That's the missing piece. A redefinition of what it takes to make PLM deliver and redefining the digital engineering stack. So I'm talking about dedicated product data leaders, people embedded across the business. They take many forms, in fact, but data quality and flow are central to their role, united by a mindset that sees product data lifecycle as a shared collective responsibility. They're qualified professionals. These aren't administrators. They're product data plumbers who fix flows, bridge silos, and ensure systems serve their people using them. They connect strategy to execution, making sure systems aren't just data repositories, but tools that pump value through the organization. And it's not about policing. It's about doing the right thing by design and building capability. They're a rising tide that lifts others, resolving day-to-day issues and driving improvements, and even supporting system implementations. So you might think that sounds expensive, but as the saying goes, if you think having a dedicated product data management layer or group of people is expensive, try having a product data murder. Product data people should be part of the total cost of PLM. And this team isn't an overhead. They're part of the delivery engine, executing, supporting, and enabling others. So these responsibilities, they already exist. They're just spread thinly across roles, which makes them a low priority. For example, do engineers prefer engineering or maintaining the EBOM in a PLM system? I think we know the answer. So transferring responsibility away from people like engineers, and it doesn't have to be engineers, it could be anyone that's adding value in the organization. It's not pampering, it's empowering. So it gives engineers back their time and enables focus that drives cost reduction, on-time delivery, and quality. It pays for itself, ultimately. High-quality product data is not only critical across the life cycle, which we've all heard today, but it's building the foundations for effective AI. So I'm not talking about people doing the work that could or should be automated. This team figures out the most effective way to execute and then helps you actually realize the value that PLM promises. Okay, so they're going to be an enabler for all the things that you're here offering today. So for the skeptics in the jury, let me give you a concrete example. So a large OEM was struggling with poor product data quality. Engineers were spending over 25% of their time, and that's a conservative estimate, on data-related tasks. Things like system administration, searching for information, etc., you can imagine. So as the business evolved, the number of tools grew and so did the complexity. To solve this, the company created a co-located, centralized engineering services team to manage the product data and the system interactions. They handle BOMs, data quality, change management, reporting, and more. They worked autonomously as the engineer's right hand. They aligned and streamlined processes across functions, coordinated from product definition all the way through to manufacturing and service, and supported major organizational changes. The impact, lower cost, greater efficiency, engineers were free to focus on engineering, and the team delivered real business value, and it was genuinely appreciated. I don't just say that they loved it in an over-positive way. People genuinely loved this kind of support and interaction. Now, that was just one part of the business, so imagine scaling this across the entire life cycle. We're building digital knowledge graphs, but now it's time to unlock the power of human product data graph. So for 25 years, this has been my mission, first in practice, and then through the company that I built to scale it. From one person to over 500 product data management professionals, and Forbes and the Financial Times ranked it among the top 15 consultancies. And it worked across borders and industries, and the team helped organizations improve their own in-house product data management capabilities. So the product data people approach is powering companies like the ones you see on this slide, enabling not only high quality PLM operations, but also the launch of new data-driven products. So this model has been transformative, and every month more companies are discovering the paradigm shift. So this proves that there's both value and demand. So if we want to stop the next product lifecycle murder, we must stop mistaking systems for safeguards. Systems don't guarantee great PLM, people do. It's product data people who bring systems to life. It's product data people who bring systems to life, and those people who know how to wield them in harmony with the business to deliver meaningful outcomes. So these are people who understand the data, they understand the processes, and more importantly, the purpose behind them. So now the truth is known, the lesson is clear. It's people who make PLM work, and that then raises the question, so who are your PLM people? Now if your answer is the system owner and the users, like the company on our murder mystery, then you're missing something. The next question is, how will you activate your people-powered PLM? This is a question to vendors and system integrators as much as it is to the engineering product companies. So I hope you're going to be leaving, I won't tell you the answers now, but I hope you're going to be leaving the summit with plenty of ideas and inspired. So to our suspects, thank you very much for your poise under pressure. And to you, the jury, thank you for your sharp minds, open ears, and unwavering sense of justice. The case is now closed, so until next time, keep your data clean and your conscience clear. Thank you very much.